Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nabila Alifalisy Syafa'ah, and in this video I will do my assignment. Task 1. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Schools should mandate students to participate in physical tests such as resistance training and jogging. Please state your opinion and explain your reasoning. Personally, I agree that schools should make students join physical tests like jogging or simple strength training. First, doing exercise helps students stay healthy and have more energy. Many students sit all day in class, so moving their bodies is good for their health and focus. Second, these activities also teach discipline and teamwork. When students train together, they support each other and learn to work hard. For example, when I was in high school, we had to run every week. It made me stronger and more confident. So, I think schools should make physical exercise part of the programs because it helps students in many good ways. Task 2. The male student expresses his opinion on the university's policy to limit the consecutive days that friends or relatives can visit. State his opinion and explain the reason he gives for holding that opinion. The reading passage announced about a new rule at the university. It says that students, friends, and family can only stay in the dorm for 3 nights in a row. The school makes this rule because some students complained that too many visits disrupt their study time. The man in the conversation doesn't agree with this rule. He thinks the visits are not really a big problem. He says that if people are polite and ask for permission first, roommates won't feel bothered. He also mentioned his roommate's brother once came to stay and he actually enjoyed it. It helped him become closer to his roommate. He also says that some students live alone, so if this rule happens, they would have to spend money and time to find a place for their visitors. So that's why the man disagree with the rule because he thinks the visits are fine and the rule would only make things harder for students. Task 3. Using the examples of butterflies and wasps, explain the idea of hilltopping. The reading passage explains the behavior called hilltopping. It means that male insects fly to the top of hills to find mates. The reason is that higher places make them easier to see and show their strength to females. In the lecture, the professor gives two examples to support this idea. First, he talks about a type of butterfly that flies up to around 2,500 meters. The males compete for good spots on the hill, and those who reach the top are usually stronger, which helps them attract females. Second, he mentioned tarantula hawk swabs. These swabs also go to the top of hills to compete with other males. Usually, the larger ones stay at the highest points, while smaller ones stay lower. However, mating can still happen at lower spots too. In conclusion, both examples show that hilltopping helps insects find mates more easily and prove their strength. Task 4. Using points and examples from the lecture, explain how and why businesses establish social and economic connection with their customers. In the lecture, the professor explains about how businesses build social and economic connections with their customers. These connections helps companies get more loyal customers and increase sales first. They build social connections by having real staff talk to customers. When people have questions, they feel more comfortable talking to real employees instead of chatbots. For example, a woman wanted to buy a supplement but wasn't sure about it. After she talked to a staff member and got clear answers, they decided to buy it. This shows that a personal interaction can help build trust. Second, businesses build economic connections by giving discount or coupons. These benefits make customer want to buy again. The professor shared his own experience. He chose Starbucks because he had a coupon that was about to expire. This shows that small rewards can influence customers to keep buying from the same company. In conclusion, companies build both social and economic connections to keep customers happy and loyal. Task 1. Do you prefer to work under pressure or to have a relaxed environment at work? Provide concrete examples to support your view. I definitely think that working in a relaxed environment is better. When I calm, I can think clearly and my work better. For example, last semester I did a group project with my friends. We worked step by step and didn't rush. Because of that, we finished it well. In addition, a relaxed place helps me be more creative. I can get more ideas when I'm not stressed. For example, when I designed a poster for my assignment, I finished it easily and people liked it because I worked calmly. So that's why I prefer a relaxed environment because it helps me do better and stay positive. Task 2. The man expresses his opinion about the proposal in the newspaper. Briefly summarize the proposal, then state the man's opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. The reading passage announced that the university will use special funding to buy more exercise machines for the campus gym. This plan was made because many students complained that there were not enough machines, and the school believes it will help students stay healthy. The men in the conversation disagree with the proposal. First, he says the gym is not that crowded, even though many students go there. He never has to wait to use any equipment. Second, he believes that adding new machines won't make a big difference because students already have many other options to exercise. He mentioned the swimming pool, running pads, and sport teams on campus, so he thinks the money should be used for something more important. Task 3. Explain how the example from the lecture illustrates the concepts of the law of diminishing returns. According to the reading passage, the topic is the law of diminishing returns. It means when more workers are added to a fixed resource, like land or machines, the total output increases, but only up to a point. After that, each new workers add less and less to the total production. In the lecture, the professor explained this idea with a simple example. He talks about a farmer who hires workers to grow crops. At first, adding more workers helps a lot because they can work together and finish tasks faster. Then the professor says that when too many workers are hired, the farm becomes crowded. There are not enough tools or space, so they slow each other down. As a result, the total production doesn't increase much anymore. In conclusion, the professor's example showed that adding more workers can help only to a certain point, and after that, it becomes less effective. Task 4. Compare and contrast procedural programming and object-oriented programming as discussed in the lecture. Give examples. The professor explains two kinds of programming styles, which are procedural programming and object-oriented programming. These are two different ways to design and organize computer programs. First, he explains procedural programming. It means writing a program as a list of steps that the computer follows one by one. Each step, called a procedure, can be used anytime in the program. For example, a procedure can read or write a file or find the square root of a number. Second, the professor explained object-oriented programming. This type focuses on data or object instead of steps. An object has information and actions. For example, a person can be an object with a name and address, or a small program like widget. The big difference is that procedural programming focuses on action, while object-oriented programming focuses on object. So, in short, procedural programming is about steps, and object-oriented programming is about objects that have data and action together. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.